Hello, hello, hello. I am Rangru,
And I'm Graham.
and once again we got another Wargame Red Dragon replay from the South African monthly tournament. And who do we have playing, Graham?
So on the left-hand side ring, we have Jaki playing South African Motorized, and then on the right we have Steve Raptor playing as Baltic Front General.
Indeed, we do. So, it seems like Jackie's gonna be playing pretty heavy up north here. He's got the Roy Cat, the Cactus, really a decent little strike group, and as we see time and time again with South Africa, really be able to make a good penetration for us early on.
Yeah, you can see that speed right there. It lets him get to these advanced positions really quickly. Set up. I expect him to be probably pretty aggressive because I don't think South Africa's very strong defensively, and so you can see him right there rushing that northern side, and he's also trying to get into Bravo. It looks like a little bit as well. So trying to utilize that speed here at the opening minute of the game.
Yeah, and it's getting him pretty good map control so far, using his helicopters as well to try and do a little bit of harassment here. But main thing for Steve, he has managed to get into the little compound in Gulf, which is a pretty damn
Yep.
important defensive position. I don't know, I feel like this map will be pretty hard for South Africa, just due to how choke pointy it is, essentially between two lanes.
No,
It's...
yeah, I think you're
yeah.
absolutely right. I've been playing some 1v1s lately as South Africa to kind of like help out with the casting. And on this map specifically, I hate it because it does feel like I get choke pointed, like you just said. And it's hard to. And we see right there, Roy Cat's just getting obliterated by the discount McGlon.
Indeed, indeed. That's going to be a real... Even just a two-man ATGM squad is pretty much going to shut down any South African play. And now attacking in Bravo, I mean, you can do it, of course, but it's CQC, it's a
Yep.
meat grinder. You
Yep.
have to fight uphill both ways. It can be a bit tough, so to speak.
Yeah, I think for South Africa, the Bravo, like in theory, players might look at it and say, "Oh, I have good infantry, I can win there." But like you said, it's really grindy, which just doesn't suit South Africa's play style whatsoever. You can't sit there in a stand-up brawl. So I think pushing golf and trying to take that town away from Steve is probably Jackie's better bet than having a frontal engagement in Bravo.
Yeah, or trying to just do some cheesy flanking maneuvers on the far edges of the map. That's also a possibility for some cheeky maneuvers, but even then, I mean, it doesn't. It's not the best idea in hindsight.
Yeah, we don't see either player really investing into pushing the flanks, the extreme flanks that much. When you see someone like Karma who's all about like going crazy on someone's flank, both these guys seem very focused on, the central Golf Bravo pushes here to start the game off.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not been that much kinetic action between both sides. There's been a little bit of skirmishing back and forth, but, both sides is kind of setting up along the imaginary 50-50 line.
Yeah, because you saw those initial Roy Cats get taken out by the Spike team, and which that's 100 points kind of down the drain there for Jackie, but Steve didn't really make any push or any kind of aggressive maneuvers maybe to capitalize on a couple picks there. And so now it's pretty much just like you said, it's stabilized on that 50-50 line. Both are getting out commanders. We see more mortars coming out for Jackie as well, so it seems like they're both kind of content.
Yeah, I do find it quite interesting down south where I've seen Steve do a bit of the cheeky motorized play here to KC APCs. The beta is going to find him. Or will the beta be a Chad and blow them all up?
I think the rockets probably should be enough to kill it, though. I think if he was the Bushmaster is pretty nasty. But I just don't. It looks like he's gonna see. Yeah, he sees them, and they're not gonna get anything done.
Yeah, they won't have the range compared to those rather deadly rockets here. We've seen quite a bit of smoke play here from Jaki, just trying to block off the ATGMs, but I mean, Steve has a pretty decent armoured force. I mean, even just 3 baseline T-72s are not bad against South Africa. Those can be rather devastating vehicles.
Right, and we saw that last game that we casted together. That even a base T-72 against the Roy Cat, especially if it's within its range, could still be extremely deadly. And then you pair that with the Recon T-55, and Steve does have an M2 Will by his ITO 90 on the top and hotel. So he actually, like you said, has a pretty potent armored force right now.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, that's real skirmish here. I was expecting a little bit more action. There we go, down south in Bravo, we're seeing some SAS trying to push on through. But, well, that's a lot of Finnish forces in that forest, and the Finns
Yeah,
like their forests.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a good fight there for Jaki. Like the SAS F90, really, like I don't think you want them going toe to toe with Jakari 90, just because that's just not their, their most suitable environment, especially in the forest right there. As we can see, there's more infantry coming in. So Steve, on the other hand, views this as a very like a likely successful attack avenue, and it's a lot of infantry with some T-72s to back it up.
Yeah, it's sort of pretty nasty force here Raptor has. He can pretty easily clear through Bravo if he manages to continue. Oh, we're seeing the MI8 trying to push on through. Getting a little bit too close, yeah. But no.
Yeah, his autocannon that takes the Rattel out right there, and then the Beta actually doesn't have its Kukri missiles, and actually it goes down to
Oh.
the Finnish super soldiers, I like to call them, over there with the Igla.
And KT's going to be forcing that 105 back, taking off almost half of his HP. I mean, Finpol doesn't exactly have the best helicopters. It's not what they're really known for. But by God, having two 23mm cannons on a hip is pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah, I think that it's very effective, and we see there Jakari 90. We see the Panzer Jakari 90 BMP ones, T-72s, Jurgen shots going out across the map, and I feel like here, when you can really see why South Africa you don't want to play defensively, because it's just so much more firepower these other decks have available to them.
Yeah, and this is just a pretty slow and steady push here from Steve Raptor. He's pretty much got into Bravo easy peasy style. He's starting to push into Gulf here, using his sissies to lead the charge. And yeah, just that T-72 is in a damn good position.
Yeah, it's gonna be really difficult for him to kill. Like he's gonna have to, maybe if he can get it isolated and get a Buccaneer or something, but that's gonna be a hard tank for South Africa Moto to kill. And so we actually see Jaki pushing the northern extremities as we talked about earlier, and I think that's the smart move for Jaki. Like push the flanks, get the engagement areas really wide, so there's a lot harder for Steve Raptor to concentrate.
Yeah, pushing that northern flank can be quite deadly, even though there's no real command areas to capture, and you really can't even put pressure into Hotel effectively, but you can shut down the spawn point for a little bit and be a giant pain in the arse at base. So if you can do some cheesy stuff, yeah, it can definitely, do a damn good job.
Yeah, we see right there the pair of Pathfinders with the Y2 frag launcher just trashing the Finnish recon infantry. The D2 comes in, gets a good hit on the Wilkham too, but it's not really in danger, I think, from the pair of Pathfinders. Though that Roycat 105 Jaki has, if you move that out, he might be able to get a side shot here.
Oh, yeah.
In a second on it. Oh, yeah, he's actually doing that right now. Let's see if he actually is able to connect, because the T-72s are pushing up. But killing that M2 would be a huge for him at this stage of the game.
Yep, we're seeing Smoke Yo clutch here from Steve.
Yeah, that's a really good smoke. Like I know people, talk about smoke and really good overused. I think sometimes in Wargame, but that's a really clutch smoke to keep that M2 Wilk alive. And if he can get it out of there as he brings up that T-55 recon tank, he could zone out that Roycat and get his tank out.
Indeed, indeed. And Steve has managed to set up a good, killing field, so to speak, on Bravo. I mean, once you fully capture Bravo, it's not impossible to lose it, so to speak.
Yeah.
Just that, open road where it's 200 to 300 meters, you get some good IFVs, some light tanks, any infantry that try to cross, they're gonna have a bad time.
Right. Yeah, and you can see that there, and that's also where the South Africans lacking heavy support or really medium type of support makes it, it's very easy for Steve to push Jaki out of Bravo, and it's gonna probably be almost impossible for the reverse to happen. And then even up there in the north, the one recon T-55 completely shuts down Jaki's push and just shows you how effective. I mean, really, any tank with decent range and armor can be against the South Africans. Like that Wilkham 2 just tanking that Roycat shot again, and he should be dead, but he's gonna live.
Yep. Oh, the Roycat does finish it off though. Dangerous engagement, yeah, but worked out. And Cheetah, we're actually seeing a bit of air power here from South Africa. It's nice to actually see. I mean, they do have really good helicopters and aircraft, and we keep saying time and time again, maybe to try and exploit it a bit more to really try and counteract your poor armored forces.
Yeah, it feels like South Africa's Air Force can be very cost effective. I don't think they have any aircraft that you would necessarily say are the most amazing in the game, but they have a lot of really good options for multiple scenarios. I just think the problem is that they just don't quite have enough punch compared to some of the better decks. But to see the air power come out early for Jaki to help make up that difference, I think is a really smart move.
Yep, seen rocket artillery. Oh, kills one of the mortar pieces.
Yeah.
Very good shot, yeah. And also saw another Roy cat getting completely blapped by the discount maglands. Like, once again, just some basic ATGM infantry can just shut down and pretty much any chances of any northern pushes, unless he can kill those ATGM infantry. And frankly, if he was to do that, he'd have a pretty good chance of capturing Gulf. I mean, from our point of view, we can see there's really not much yet armored rise, apart from a
Right.
recon T-55 and some baseline T-72s, which is still a bit scary, but it's manageable.
Yeah, I think it just shows the difficulty in pushing like entrenched positions with the South Africans, and so you can just tell Jaki just doesn't want to commit to that kind of engagement. I think the problem for him moving forward here is that he's going to have to commit to a push somewhere because the flank stuff isn't. It's kind of it looks like he's annoying up there in the north at Route 76, but that's not going to, I think, really decisively do anything. Oh, massive air attack coming out here by Jaki. 2D2s with a Carver up in support.
There we go, that's what I like to see. Bombing
taking
one
out
of the T-72s.
Yeah, big kill on the Jakaris right there. Now the Roycats can push up as those T-72s are shaken and, stunned up a little bit. Though actually he's keeping them back a little. I guess he's probably worried for the recon T-55.
Yeah, Jaki really, if he wants to do anything up north, is either bomb the hell out of the ATGM infantry or just start smoking them out. If he can do that, he can do he has the forces up here to make something happen, I believe.
Yeah, he either smoke it and maybe try and get his infantry up close, or like I agree with your idea, just bomb it. I think that's the better bet. There hasn't been any real AA out here for Steve Raptor yet. There's one Ito 90 down there in Bravo. Oh yeah,
he's starting to invest pretty heavy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm tired of these planes.
Mm-hmm. Lovely thing about oh wait, it's run is radar. I was thinking of the Yugoslav run.
Yeah, the nice Yugo one that's IR with the nice range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your best defense against Nighthawks.
Yeah, it's a proven Nighthawk killer.
Yeah, I've seen this more rocket artillery here from Raptor, just doing a good job of suppressing any potential pushes into Bravo, and nice bombing run, knocking out a supply truck, yeah. But two MiG-29s.
Oh, it made it.
Did it make it out? It made it out.
Wow. I was like, big loss there for Jaki, but actually, nope. The D2 barely makes it out of there, and now he knows also that Steve has two of the MiG-29s with the two R-77s, so it's a good little heads up here that saves his plane, and he kind of has an idea now what air power is opposing him.
Yeah, and he's probably going to get some more anti-air or aircraft to, counter that air power which is being brought out, because I think he's not gonna have too long before the anti-aircraft net gets a little bit too crazy for him to deal with, and then his air power is gonna become null and void.
Yeah, with the Super Cretal and then Anua out and two MiG interceptors, it's a lot of anti-air that's now on the field for Steve, and Steve does still have the more dominant position. He is holding Bravo, he is holding Golf, so it's going to really force Jaki here in the next couple of minutes to probably have to make some magic happen.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think what the hell he can do. Like he's getting the CV right now into Foxtrot, so I think both sides are just going to be playing the CV game. But if it comes down to it, I mean, both middle points can be captured by Raptor, and that would be a very nice +2 for him. Yeah,
we actually see that he's on the same wavelength as you, Rain. He's called out his gas Jeep to go run up there real quick and probably pop that into Bravo, I would assume. So even as Jaki's about to cap Foxtrot, the +1's going to restart itself super fast.
Yeah. Oh, down south, we're seeing the KT make some sneaky plays. The recon helicopter not going to spot it in time. Oh, never mind.
Oh, no, he got it.
Clutch. Absolutely clutch.
Caster's curse.
Just, do the silent. Henry can never be wrong. Just move the camera around and do hand gestures.
The problem is whenever you make a prediction, you feel so confident, right? It's like, I see this, I'm making this prediction, and it's like the game's like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm such a, big brain caster, look at me.
I would say big brain moves here. We see the G6 actually coming out here, the Rhino for Jaki.
Oh.
I think it's arguably one of the best heavy artillery pieces in the game. It's super effective, hard hitting, really tight dispersion. I just don't know if that's like enough firepower to really get him into Bravo.
Yeah, you really just need to napalm all the forest and
Yeah.
then move on through, but that's not really an option here for the South Africans. I also find it funny to see Raptors using a lot of the Musty anti-tank squads. Just honestly, that's really good against South Africa. Looking at it, 16 AP, decent range.
Yeah, and,
That's,
and it has HE too, so it can hit
yeah,
both 1400 meters. Yeah, I think it's a really smart addition to the. I don't know if he does that all the time, but I think Rango, because we were talking a little before the cast, it looked like he made a couple of changes to his deck, specifically to fight the South Africans, and you can really see it in
yeah,
decisions like that.
yeah. That's the funny thing when flying South Africans. Like all the crap and crap medium to light AT is really good against him, and it's
Yep.
cheap. You just need cheap, crappy light AT, or seeing the push into Bravo.
He is committing to the push here in Bravo, but there's a lot of infantry still in the back line of Bravo holding it. He's going to reinforce. Steve is. There's T-72s, which will still be a pain for him to deal with as well. And it's going to really rely on these rhinos because there's now 2 of them, which is a ton of points
Holy moly!
from Jaki into this push here. And he's kind of, I think, betting the game on it, Ring.
Yeah, that's 260 points. That's you could get 45 Roy Cat 105s for that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of points that
Yeah.
you just dumped into artillery. I mean, and it could work. It's a great piece. Like if you're going to pick an artillery piece to dump points into, that's a great one. But then on the flip side, there's a Jurgen out, for Steve that's done already a lot of damage, gotten kills. Yeah, though this one is a little bit off, but it's panics all those parabats though, so it buys him a little more time.
Yeah, and that's all he needs. It's time to bring reinforcements into Bravo and just hold the line.
Hold until relieved.
Indeed, or finally seeing a little bit of, not so much heavy, but medium armor here, 2 Oliphants, which are actually pretty good. Up north of just how long range it is, the, long range, high powered guns are
Yep.
pretty decent on those things in that sort of engagement.
Yeah, I think both Oliphants that the motorized get the 60 and the 40 points are pretty good. I think just the problem is that they're not quite as good for price that most other nations get. Because like for 40 points, I feel like the T-72 probably does everything you really want for a 40-point tank. So it's kind of hard to quite say, oh, my 40-point tank's better. And it's, that's really a small win there, I think, for the South Africans.
Yeah. Yeah, and also not having that machine. I don't think losing the machine gun isn't as big of a deal, but it's always nice to have.
Right.
Oh,
It's always nice to have.
cover.
Yeah.
Getting sniped out the air by never. Never say never when that anti-aircraft piece is out, I swear.
He said, get that paper plane out of my
Mhm.
airspace. Yeah, we see here more T-72s coming up. They're really good for fire support in these kind of situations for Steve. Though the Rhino actually got some massive hits on the Panzari Jakar. I believe that's how you pronounce it. If not, I'm sorry, Finland. But they got butchered there down to 4 HP. But the reinforcements are still funneling in for Steve.
Yeah, I mean, once he has to get his power bats into here, they do a pretty damn good job. They're decent infantry, and of course, South Africa motorized has good infantry. But as we're seeing, T-72s are gonna knock on down to their position, and that's a pretty nasty little armored force, even in CQC.
Yeah, and these T-72s now are going to kind of roll up here right on top of these parabats. See the Jakari coming in, though. Big hits from the Rhino. You see why it's so deadly there. But I don't know if that's enough to turn the tide for him. And it's not, it's not. One T-72 goes down. But the Parabat squad is pretty much eliminated.
Yeah. I know, like, the Rhinos are probably a bad investment, really. That could have been 260 points of frontline units to get a foothold into Bravo. Like, double the amount of power bats, a few light tanks here and there, and just try to push on through head on. Because at least you can contest it, and if you manage to even just control the southern hill of Bravo, I mean, you can flank around south of Alpha and try to do some cheesy plays there. That's a pretty big option. Though, speaking of big options, Steve will be pushing up north into Gulf and Foxtrot, I should say, and he has a pretty nasty force.
Yeah, he's got a really strong force there. I guess we missed the M2 Wilk dying at some point. Oh, no, we did. We covered that earlier.
Yep.
My bad. It's an
M1
M1
Wilk now.
Yeah. And then there's the Recon T-55. He's got his infantry moving into position. And this is just kind of like, I think, a really devastating push here for Jaki because it's going to really start controlling these roadways and critical, like the Triangle Forest there. And we see 3 Roycat 76 Recon variants coming in. with the Oliphants, but I don't think they'll win the tank fight here.
Yeah, those Roycat 76s aren't
Yeah.
the best when it comes to AT. You know, maybe if you can flank around and just look at how fast they go. But I doubt that.
It's actually we're gonna see here really quick who can win. You've got the Recon T55 and the M1 Wilk trading out with Roycats here, pretty much max range with each other. Nice little Jurgen strike.
Oh.
Yeah, then the lightly armored South Africans, they want none of that smoke.
No. It's actually quite interesting seeing how he's microing the Roycat, because even an open field long range engagement, they're not too bad because you can just kind of go back and forth really fast thanks to your fast reverse speed.
Yeah, I just feel like it's really taxing. Like you have to constantly micro them in and out of range and hope that you can, get the shots that you need. And even then, he still doesn't but all of Steve's armored units are still alive.
Yeah.
Even the T-72s.
Even the baseline 40-point T. Yeah.
Yeah, Jaki realized that he wasn't fighting the Cubans or the Angolans. Again, the Baltic Front showed up to play.
Yeah, back when DLC was more power creepy.
Yeah, they didn't quite get it. Eugen didn't quite connect with this one, I think, in terms of the power creep.
No,
some things are a little
crazy. Completely broken.
No, we actually see a another command Rattel called out here for Jaki. These Rhinos still hitting, but I completely agree with you, Rang. I think the Rhino is probably not. I think that's a move you make when you're ahead in the game. Yeah. I don't think it's a move that can get you back, get you ahead or equalize.
No, because 260 points in artillery. To make it worthwhile, you really have to kill 260 points worth of... Oh,
D2 goes down.
Like, you have to kill 260 points worth of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't really do that. You just don't. Like, you'll really only kill infantry and light vehicles, and that's going to take a lot of artillery barrages, and there's a tap out. And only a 500 KD difference.
Yeah, I think you see it right there, though. Like, Jaki, the writing's kind of on the wall, right? Like, because how are you supposed to stop that push from Golf? Your push into Bravo failed as well. So you just don't have, the firepower or the tankiness, right, to really go head to head with something like Baltic Front. I think like that.
Indeed. Yeah, it's also just a not very good map, for South Africa, unfortunately.
Yeah, because if you look at I'm looking at Raptor's decking, you see it he still has the T-72 M1 mods. He didn't even call those out, whatsoever. Really good infantry to supplement. We saw the Salamandra there towards the end. Still plenty of recon tanks. It's just so much firepower that I'm not sure how of equal level players. I'm not sure how the South African player is supposed to win that unless you just really connect in your opening minutes.
Yeah, or just have insane APM micro.
Yeah, they need some StarCraft pros to come play South Africa.
Yeah, 600 APM, just reversing back and forth, getting the perfect side shots.
Yeah. I wish I could do that.
I wish I could do that too.
See Rang tearing up the leaderboard there with 600 APM micro. He's making field marshal.
Managing to micro all the recoilless rifle 10-point vehicles perfectly.
It would be quite the sight.
Yeah, but on that note, do you have anything else to say?
No, it was a really interesting game. I think if you had told me the players' names beforehand, I would have said that Jaki's probably going to win. And I just think right there you see with map and then just the deck choice. Obviously someone has to play South Africa in the tournament. It just shows it's a really good display, I think, of the weaknesses that the South Africans actually have, and really just solid play from Steve.
Oh, it's a very temperamental deck, so to speak. It'll be precise with how you use it.
Right, yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. But once again, thank you very much for joining us, Graham. And
yeah, absolutely, man. Had a lot of fun.
And from me, thank you very much for watching. And as usual, please just take it easy.